15 everyday items from the 1960s you completely forgot existed. Hey there, nostalgia seekers. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Today, we're diving headfirst into the wacky, colorful world of the 1960s. A decade packed with everything from pogo sticks to secret gadgets you've completely forgotten about. But here's the kicker. Most of these iconic items are long gone from our memory banks. Until now. We're about to reveal 15 mind-blowing, totally forgotten items from the 1960s that will make you say, "No way, I used to have that," or "Wow, I never knew that existed." Buckle up. This is the ultimate nostalgia explosion you didn't see coming. Let's jump into the wild world of the 1960s and rediscover the coolest stuff you never knew was part of history. 1. The pogo stick. In the 1960s, pogo sticks weren't just toys. They were a cultural phenomenon. The most famous of them all was the hop rod, the world's first powered pogo stick. Imagine a gasoline-powered contraption that transformed a simple bouncing toy into a mini motorcycle for kids. The hop rod was designed to give kids hours of bouncing fun, testing their balance and skill as they tried to stay upright on a metal frame with springs and footrests. Bouncing on a pogo stick was no small feat. The clicking sound of the spring, the thrill of weightlessness, those moments of bouncing down the sidewalk felt almost magical. Kids would wobble, stumble, and tumble, often earning scraped knees along the way. Yet no one worried about the minor injuries. It was all part of the adventure. 2. Ant farms. Before smartphones and tablets, kids turned to nature for entertainment. Ant farms became a popular way to observe the tiny workers of the insect world. These miniature ecosystems were more than just a pastime. They were a window into teamwork, construction, and patience. Kids would watch as ants built intricate tunnels, carried crumbs, and worked together with remarkable coordination. Creating the perfect setup required some effort, poking the glass to encourage movement or figuring out how to keep the ants thriving. 3. Fizzies. Imagine turning plain water into a fizzy treat with just a tablet. That was the magic of Fizzies, the 1960s answer to instant soda. These colorful tablets would dissolve in water, bubbling and fizzing, transforming a simple glass into a sweet, carbonated beverage. Kids loved the process, dropping the fizzy into water, watching it bubble, and then tasting the homemade soda. Flavors ranged from strawberry to grape, making every sip feel like a special treat. 4. Private phone lines. Back in the 1960s, having your own phone line was a big deal. Before that, many families shared a single household line, which meant eavesdropping, unintentional overhearing, and waiting your turn to talk. Once your family got a private line, it felt like a small victory, a space just for your conversations. This was the era of secret crushes, long chats with friends, and the thrill of having a direct connection without interruptions. The phone became a confidant, a social tool, and a symbol of growing independence. 5. Green and blue chip stamps. Shopping in the 1960s often came with a little extra bonus, stamps. Green and blue chip stamps were given when you made purchases, and collecting enough could earn you all sorts of treasures. From toys to kitchen gadgets, children eagerly collected these stamps, filling books and dreaming of what they could trade them for. It was a fun game, like a treasure hunt, making every shopping trip an adventure. 6. Metal can openers. Before pull tabs made opening cans effortless, there were metal can openers, small handy tools with a pointed end and a flat edge. About 4 to 5 inches long, these openers were the unsung heroes of soda and beer cans. You'd insert the pointed end into the can's rim, twist and pry open the top, sometimes with a little effort, but always with a sense of satisfaction. These openers bore the logos of soda and beer companies, turning an ordinary task into a nostalgic ritual. Sipping from a freshly opened can felt like an accomplishment. 7. Cigarettes. It's startling to realize how widespread smoking was in the 1960s. Cigarettes were everywhere, on airplanes, in restaurants, even in hospitals. Cigarette ads featuring glamorous actors and catchy slogans flooded magazines, making smoking seem stylish and sophisticated. Many pregnant women smoked openly, oblivious to health risks. Smoking was intertwined with social rituals, relaxing with friends, taking a break from work, or simply adding a cool edge to one's personality. Today, we see the health hazards clearly, but back then, cigarettes seemed like an unavoidable part of life. 8. Console televisions. The 1960s television was a massive wooden-framed console that dominated the living room. These stylish units housed bulky screens, built-in speakers, and often took up an entire wall. There were no remote controls. Families got up to change channels or adjust volume. Adjusting rabbit ears for a clearer picture was part of the nightly routine. 9. Drive-in theaters. Nothing captured the magic of the 1960s quite like a trip to the drive-in. Families would pull up in their cars, tune into the movie on a radio, and enjoy a film outdoors. Snacks, blankets, and the open sky made it a unique experience. Double features meant hours of entertainment under the stars, with the car serving as a cozy movie theater. It was a social event, a date night, and a community gathering, all rolled into one. 10. Soda fountains. Soda fountains weren't just places to grab a drink. They were social hubs. Serving ice-cold sodas, milkshakes, and floats, these counters buzzed with energy. A soda jerk would expertly mix your favorites behind the counter, creating a lively, nostalgic atmosphere. The clinking glasses, lively conversation, and jukebox tunes made every visit a mini celebration. 11. World Book Encyclopedia. Before the internet, encyclopedias like the World Book were treasures. Their colorful pages and comprehensive entries made them the go-to resource for school reports and curious minds. Kids would gather around, flipping through pages to learn about space, history, or animals. Owning a full set was a big deal, an entire universe at your fingertips, inspiring wonder and discovery in every home. 12. Paper maps. Traveling in the 1960s meant relying on paper maps. These detailed guides showed every road, turn, and landmark, making every trip an adventure. Families spread maps on the car hood or kitchen table, tracing their route with fingers and marking destinations. No GPS, no rerouting, just good old-fashioned navigation. Some maps still sit in glove compartments today, a nostalgic reminder of journeys past. 13. Banana seat bikes. With their long, curvy seats and vibrant colors, banana seat bikes were the epitome of style for kids. These bikes made you feel like you were cruising in the coolest way possible, whether racing around the neighborhood or showing off your ride. 14. The National Anthem sign-off. At night, after a day of programming, TV stations would sign off with the national anthem. The screen would fade to black and the solemn tune would fill the room. It was a moment of reflection and patriotism, a routine that marked the end of the day and the beginning of dreams. That quiet, familiar closing ritual is a nostalgic echo of a simpler, more community-oriented time. 15. Photographic slide projectors, memories in motion. Before digital photos, slide projectors were the way to relive special moments. Family vacations, weddings, or holidays. Slideshows brought these memories to life on the living room wall. Gathering around the projector, dimming the lights, and watching the images flicker was a magical experience. The moon landing in 1969 was one such unforgettable moment, with everyone marveling at Neil Armstrong's first step on the lunar surface. The 1960s, a decade of charm and simplicity. From gadgets to cultural rituals, the items of the 1960s paint a picture of a vibrant, nostalgic era. Many of these items, like the old paper maps, metal can openers, and even the iconic TV sets, are relics of a time before technology took over every aspect of life. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, be sure to share your stories in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic stories and fascinating history. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the unforgettable items of the 1960s. Until next time.